Well, hello, folks, and welcome back. We're going to be playing Elin today, Eternal League of Nephia. This is the prequel to Ilona, a game I recorded probably almost a decade ago at this point. I was never very good at it, and I'm not very good at this game. I put a decent amount of hours into this game, so I kind of know how to play, but I'm not an expert. Not gonna be able to show you a whole bunch of badassery early on. We're just gonna play the game and see what happens. Uh, are we prepared to leave? Yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. I don't have any mods installed. This is an early access title on Steam. It has workshop support. There's a bunch of mods already being pumped out for it. So far, I haven't found the need for any mods really. And since it's getting updated 2 to 4 times a day at the moment, I don't really want to mess with mods constantly breaking, possibly. Oh, let's see. There's a lot of different character choices. You can enable this option down here to have extra races and classes. I'm not going to do it. We're going to stay on manual save and load will be disabled. Granted the fate feat. I'm not doing permadeath. This game is way too hard, in my opinion, for permadeath. At least for me. I'm gonna die a lot, just so you know. The death penalty in this game isn't too terrible from what I've experienced so far. And in fact, there is no death penalty for the first 90 days of game time because the game treats it like a tutorial. So your first 90 days, go balls wild trying to figure stuff out. Don't worry about dying. You're gonna have fun. I think we'll do Oath of Destiny. That way, at least I can't save scum. Things that happen and choices I make, we'll just have to stick with them. We'll just have to deal with it. Let's see. Race. Say there's a whole bunch of races. And again, you can enable extra races and classes down here, which will... If I can find the right button, give you a whole bunch more. Succubuses if you want to be a little pervert and sex everyone to death and make them your friend that way. I don't know what all of the other ones are. I haven't really messed with them. I am a boring basic bitch, and we're just gonna be probably a juror. Juror? There's Urals. Yeah. I'm not. I don't care about any of these. Let's see. Nomads of South Tyrus. We don't have a homeland, unfortunately. The Jur, we're just gonna call them the Jur, often drift into banditry, making them notorious in Tyrus. They cherish freedom, loathe constraints, and prioritize personal autonomy. Oh my god, it's speaking to me. This game represents me. It's bullshit. Gifted with dexterous hands, sharp senses, and a high learning ability, they are masters of all trades. They can earn their living through performances and can survive on minimal sustenance. Yep, that's us. Our name is going to be Plump. Our alias, oh good lord, Clownish Fear. The sweet, proud emo. Some of the names that can pop up with this are absolutely hilarious. We're going to be the Holy Retard. This is definitely going on Rumble. YouTube, you might get this, but I'm going to be saying retard a lot. Algorithm doesn't like that. Who knows what YouTube's going to do. YouTube's ran by a bunch of retards. We're the Holy Retard. They're just retarded. We're going to be male. Our age. We're going to be a grown-up. 26 years old. Good lord, old. Old is 33? I'm offended by that. I'm offended. So, let's see. I guess it'll bounce it around a little bit. Our father could be a chubby witch. Our mother was a deep smith. Our birthplace was some graveyard in a foreign land. We need... I don't think any of this actually matters. But let's see. Righteous pirate, lustful sufferer. We want our parents to be... Our father was a quiet little girl. Interesting. We want our parents to be somewhat interesting, right? Drunkard pirate, a great dancer. Our mother was a tempting young boy. Cruel necromancer, Abel. Some slaughterhouse in the east. So our mother was an animal. Our father was a necromancer who maybe brought her to life, back to life or something, knocked her up, and before she was getting ready to be slaughtered, she squirted us out into the slaughterhouse. We survived somehow. And a bunch of different classes. It would definitely be easier for me if I chose like a warrior or a wizard or an archer or even a war mage. But we're going to be a pianist. Pianists, the solitary professionals, make a living through their performances. Always burdened with their pianos, they have a remarkable capacity to bear heavy loads. Domains are sound, mind, and nerve. That'll come into effect later. So we can re-roll what we look like down there. Say, can I get a badass one? All of these look like women. We could be a cock. A giant cock. I don't have any custom portraits installed. What do we want to look like? Say, we need to be kind of a badass pianist. Remember, we were born in the slaughterhouse. Our father was a necromancer. That'll be us right here. We're missing an eye. Our father stole it whenever we were children. Whenever we were young. I don't know what he did with it. Maybe he brought it to life. It's out there somewhere. It's gonna hunt me down one day. That is almost perfect if I didn't have a skirt on. I don't actually know if you can change what your character here looks like later on. Oh no! Okay. Let's say I right-clicked on accident. I've got a twitchy hand. Thought I lost everything. I guess I can edit it this way. Okay, body. What's the difference? I don't think I saved my last character, unfortunately. Edit appearance. Say hair. Guess that's the background. We want our hair to be... It's gonna be kind of black, blackish. Sub hair, I don't need any of this. I don't want any sub hair yet. Face. Where's the eye patch? There we go. So I have to have me eye patch. Unfortunately, this game does not show armor that you find in dungeons. It doesn't update it on your sprite. Maybe someday it will, or maybe someday somebody will make a mod that does it. There's already a bunch of mods for various clothing and things, I believe. Let's see. I'm not really seeing any tops that just scream pianist. So we're not wearing a dress. Problem is, it looks like most of these tops are made for the ladies. Get some bell bottoms on. Okay, let's just go with the basic blue jeans here. So we got that. Our face is fine. My one eye, I could have no eyes, just an eye patch. Let's see, we need to have blue eyes. It's mandatory. How about blue? Bluish, grayish. Sub hair, let's see, I want real hair first before we go with our sub hair. We could be a balding salaryman. We're gonna be kind of punky. Yeah, sub hair is for the ladies. Underwear? We're not gonna have any, I assume. I don't know if you can take your clothes off. I don't think you can, so... Let's see. Oh, I can hit... I don't want to hit undress. I'm gonna hit undress. Ah, I knew it was gonna do that, you son of a bitch. That's why I didn't want to do it. But, okay, fine. Fine, we'll do it this way. So we can, yeah, male or female. Undies... We just have a leaf. Have a towel. Have one of those, yeah, that works for me. Say, what is this? How fast do we walk? Kind of looks like a diaper. I don't know if I like that. There we go. Boxer briefs. Hair. Get my little punkish hair back. Kind of real eyes. Face. Eye patch. Top. Say, we'll get it quicker this time. It's going to be a long intro just of me screwing around trying to get this right. Where was it? So, you know what? That's good enough. I think that'll do. Okay, so we got that set up, Age, 27, it's fine. Our race is Jur. Don't need to mess with that. Prologue. Now, we can do Night in the Meadow, which is what we're going to do. You can start in a cave, which I think bypasses the starting tutorial. I'm going to do the tutorial with you guys, just take you through it. I think the tutorial is very good to do if you haven't played the game. If you haven't played any of these games at all, definitely just do a Night in the Meadow. It'll teach you everything you need to know. I can't edit any of these, unfortunately. So, I think that's it. Do one last look over here. We are the Holy Retard Plump, the Pianist. Current Oath of Destiny forbids manual loading, or saving and loading. Yep. The game still saves whenever you exit it, and I believe it auto-saves. A long time ago, now forgotten, the remnants of many civilizations are buried in the earth, and the 11th era of Ylva began, with the scars of the Riem Edo still unmended. The fires of war started by the ancient desert empire soon spread over the world and brought a long period of confusion to Ylva. After losing the Siren airship on the western continent, the empire gradually withdrew from various regions. Humans celebrated the first victory and peace they had won, and people once again returned to their serene lives. However, they never forgot the betrayal of the Ellas, who had remained quiet during the war. Eventually, 15 years passed. I don't really know much about the lore of this world, unfortunately. Ah, you're awake. No. Lie down still. You were out cold for a while. That's Ash, that's Fia. It is fortunate that we found you before too late. Never wise for human to step into the forest of Aaliyah, especially in the midst of night like this, when the wind is strong and the trees are astir. Now, we'd brought you here, and it seems we are losing a night of our urgent journey. Not that I'm complaining, well, not much anyways. At least my companion is content with this unexpected break. So, are you a traveler? What brings you to Mycelia? Am I prying too much? Does your head still hurt? Are you awake? I mean, I haven't even actually seen you really move. But just sleep well for now. There's always calm when you truly need it. So, this is where our story truly begins. Not in the slaughterhouse being squirted out into the muck and filth, but here, in this forest. Ash was as sarcastic as ever, but he seemed more pleased than I was with the little break you unintentionally gave us. That's Fia talking. I should probably do a female voice, but whatever. The fate that lay ahead of Mycelia, the truth of the world and the choice we have made, and the scars it has brought to Ylva. Unaware of what was yet to come, we gazed at flames of the bonfire, waiting patiently for the dawn to break. So, our mysterious guest finally wakes up. There's porridge right by the bonfire. It's already getting cold, though. Come to me when you're filled. We need to talk. So we can get help over here. I'm going to ignore this. This is our little helper fairy. Good morning, sleepyhead. Don't worry, you're not hallucinating. I'm Neron, your guide here to assist you on your journey. Well, you seem like you've just woken up. So for today, I'll just give you this adventure log, a handy tool that lets you replay our conversations anytime you want. Well, until we meet again. We got inventory here. We start with some bandages. We got an adventure log. As the fairy talks to you, it will add things to this. So if you ever forget what the fairy told you, just right-click on your adventure log and read it. Our ability list is here. We start with meditate. This is how you fall asleep, as far as I know, if you don't have a bed. And you can use it to regenerate your health, your companion's health in a dungeon. Quick craft, we'll be using this. Self-harm, I honestly don't know what this is for. I've never used it. I don't really plan to cut myself. I'm not emo. I don't really want scars. I don't have any internal pain I'm trying to hide, so... Or we can pray to God. We don't really have a God yet. We have to choose which one we want to worship. So I'm not even sure what would happen if we prayed to nobody. I'm not hungry. I'm not going to eat the porridge. NPCs with an exclamation point over their head have quests for you. Are you feeling a little better? First thing first, you've earned this. The man tosses us a piece of parchment. Don't worry about it. It's just my quota. Although a deed for land sounds like a good thing to have, I doubt if anyone gives a damn these days. Throw it to the bonfire if you like, for all I care. But you seem to be intact. I'm Ashland, on our way to the royal capital of Palmia with my companion. You aren't from around here, are you? I suppose I could spare some time to teach you the way of living in this land before we part, if you wish, of course. So what's a land deed? Oh, that paper? That is a land deed. Mycelia is looking for pioneers, and we're giving away land for free to promising adventurers. Well, of course, houses and people don't just pop up from nowhere. You'll be carving your way through bushes, and there's no one to protect the land from rogues and vicious creatures. Eventually, you'll have to pay taxes, too. You can't run from them anywhere you go. I'm not going to lie. Fiamma and I serve Mycelia, and Mycelia needs allies and coins. So my secret intention here is to emphasize the favor we have done to you, and I hope you might be driven to make a blooming town or two for us. So I don't know if that... I'm going to assume blooming here means like a flower blooming, not like some type of derogatory term. A blooming town. He grins at us gleefully. I would want to say a booming town. We want a boom town here. This place actually doesn't look bad for a new settlement. Why don't you go find a good spot and read the deed? Why don't you teach me the way of living? Picking and using items, I don't need that. I got some questions, though. Who was the Elin girl I saw? What? You saw an Elin girl in the woods? Ah, you must have seen Fiamma in a daze. She's still here somewhere. She's the one who found you when you collapsed. Fia is human, but you aren't the first one to guess wrong. She hears the voices of the forests. I recall she was muttering something strange a while ago. That it was a girl in her dream which brought us here. I wonder what she meant. What's Nephia? There are many unexplored ruins scattered around in Tyrus, and we call them Nephia. It is rumored that ancient treasures lie dormant in the depths of Nephia, but it would be wise to avoid rushing into exploration unless you consider yourself an adventurer with considerable skill. I do not, and I can tell you that going into a Nephia right now is going to get me killed. So, back by... We'll pick this land deed up, and we're just going to read it. Right here. As far as I know, I haven't tried it otherwise, but I've read the forums enough. You cannot leave the tutorial here until you claim this land. He tells you the deed doesn't matter and you can burn it. You can't, and you can't leave until you do this. So, unlike Elona, having a base and building a town in this game is a major part of it. In Elona, building was optional for the most part. It was time-consuming, difficult, it had very little rewards in it. This game is centered around building your base, building your towns, getting them set up and functional. So, we'll talk to Ash again before we talk to Fia. Congratulations! The land is now yours. To celebrate your new beginning, I'll give you a hatchet. It will be of great use to you as you work your way through the land. And these are 10 gold bars. The relief supply is provided by Mycelia. I'm kind of curious why sometimes Mycelia has 2 L's and sometimes it has 1. I'm honestly not sure if it means anything different. Gold bars are a useful resource that can be used to hire residents and can also be exchanged for various items that are essential to the development of your home. Fiamma carries some beginner home furnishings in custody, so don't forget to buy them. We're going to stay here for a little while longer and see how it develops. Hey, I feel a little responsible for having kindled your pioneering spirit. I posted some requests on the bulletin board. Take a look when you have time. So, what's my goal? Well, what do you want to build on this land? A place for travelers to rest their wings? A craftsman's workshop where master artists exercise their abilities? Or a peaceful farm village with swaying ears of wheat? If you have a vision for the future, that is your goal. As long as you can pay us a certain amount of income, we won't have any say in the matter. But if you don't know where to start, take a look at the bulletin board. I posted some requests for you to begin with. So yes, you can build your town, set it up, and the residents you put in it will determine what type of town it is. They all have jobs and hobbies, and they all produce stuff, and it's pretty in-depth and complicated. Give me that. Do you want to know how to use the axe? No, I don't. Click on the bag, blah, 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 blah. You already knew that, blah, 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 blah. Everyone starts out as a beginner. You see the numbered slots. You can drag and drop these here, too. Yeah, I guess you knew that, too. Yep. So, we're going to right-click it. We're going to put it... Actually, I guess I can't equip it as a weapon. You can store items down here and right here as additional storage, and items on your hotbar, obviously, you can use... with the number keys, useful for switching through your tools. Weapons just stay in your hand. You don't need them on a hotbar. And this is Fia, or Fiamma. So you've made up your mind to live on this land. I wish you well in your new home. I'm giving you one of my precious companions for a gift. What kind of animal do you like? You can have a dog, a cat, a bear, or a little girl. We have to go with the little girl. It's the legendary choice from Elona. Not only that, they can actually equip a full suit of equipment. Alright, take good care of it. If you get separated from your companions, you can call them back from a tavern in a nearby town. Why don't you tell me the story of the ugly beast? Once upon a time, there was a prince who was magically transformed into an ugly beast. Despairing of his appearance, he abandoned his country and lived in a hut in the forest. A woman ran into the hut and fell down one day. She was wounded by a wolf. The prince hesitated but took care of the woman anyway. She, of course, was frightened by the sight of the man and wept. As days passed, she began to notice the kindness of the man. She was touched by his sincerity and the pain he was carrying. Healed from her injuries, she decided to live with the man. They overcame many difficulties together, and in the end, the curse on the prince was lifted. The two were married and lived happily ever after. A story that's told everywhere. When I was a child, Master Cetrus told me this story over and over again. Such a sad ending, he said. I wonder what he felt and what he wanted to tell me in this fairy tale humans wrote. It means don't judge a book by its cover, lady. Pretty much that simple. I got some questions. What is the Old Forest? On the eastern continent, across the sea from Tyrus, there is a deep forest where people never set foot in. An old forest where Elias dwell. The poison the trees breathe out takes away man's rationality and eventually lead them to death. The forest is called Vendel, or the Other Forest. There still remain a few old forests on this continent as well. They don't take human lives like the forest of Vendel does, but they are dangerous places nonetheless. Tell me about the Dreaming Children. Dreaming Children. Poor children of Aliyah who can never grow up. Those who have developed the disease lose themselves between dreams and reality, and eventually fall into a sleep from which they will never awaken. Their faces are always vacant, and their hearts are elusive, as if detached from the outside world. The either dreams the dreaming children weave are embodied in reality as an outburst of power or an unforeseen calamity. I've heard a whole town vanished without a trace just because some idiot startled a dreaming child in jest. No cure has been found for this disease we call the Pool of the Forest. Dangerous in any society, they are sent alone to the old forest and end their brief lives. Yes, it's a depressing story, but it's something you need to know if you're going to live here in Mycelia. I liked to spend my time in the old forest as a child. Master Cetrus used to laugh at me when I told him that I might actually be Elia. When I sleep in the shade of big trees in the old forest, I sometimes have strange dreams. Dreams of a river filled with a blue radiance. Its current feels dangerous, yet I am irresistibly drawn to it. And whenever I try to approach the river, I hear a girl's voice saying, "Don't go there! Don't go that way!" The dream, the voice of the girl, no, it can't be. I'm sorry. I'm being nonsense here. Okay. Let me see your home equipment. So, she sells a bunch of useful stuff. Like, you can learn how to make a millstone, a fire, so you can cook, a small grass window, sculpting table, practice chest if you want to practice your lock picking, an old lantern for some reason. Oh yeah, the old lantern, I had to think about what this was. It's useful in a dungeon where it's dark. Grass fences, two of the same one. Recipes do level up, and the higher level they get, the higher quality they are, the more value they are, the better it is for your town. Grass blocks, recipes, tax evasion. We're not going to be getting into tax evasion. There's a resident board, so you can not hire residents, so you can see what they're doing, kind of, and a home board. We'll buy these soon. I'm not going to spend any of my gold bars yet. So let's see, we've got our main quests, Mycelia reconstruction. The quest board here, every town has a quest board, and you're going to be using quest boards a lot. So let's see, you need to learn this to run your base. As you build your base here, you must know about shared container. The shared container is a vital piece of equipment for your residents to live and work in. Listen carefully, as I'm only going to explain it once. Containers, such as crates and barrels, have the concept of permissions. Normally, only you can move items in and out of a container, but you can change it to a shared container by clicking the lock icon on the right side of the container. Shared containers are accessible to residents and party members. Those who are hungry will scavenge for food in the containers, and if they find good equipment, they may take it out and equip it. If there are materials needed for work, they will be consumed automatically. Also, keep an eye on the remaining capacity of the shared container, as residents may deliver work products or stuff they have found. I'll go ahead and give you this box, which is a reward for this quest. Set it on the ground and try to turn it into a shared container. A reinforced plank block. I'm gonna go bust that thing up soon. So just click this. Now it's a shared container. Containers have a lot of options. You can choose what goes in them. You can choose how the items stack. You can say don't use these things for crafting if you just want to have a stockpile on the side. That way, if you're at your crafting workstations, you don't want to run out of everything. You can just have a stockpile on the side that doesn't get automatically drawn from. Workstations will pull from these containers and use resources, so you do not have to constantly carry everything around with you. I'm not going to mess with anything just yet. We're going to leave it like it is. Let's see. Essential equipment. Middle click or R key to hold the container. Open the container once everything is done and report back to Ash. It looks like you've successfully set up a shared container. Bravo! By changing the settings of the containers, you can also create containers that are used on a priority basis, or containers that only allow items of a certain category to be moved in and out. You can try this out later when you need to organize the base's supplies. And trust me, you're gonna need a ton of containers. There are a lot of items and resources in this game. It gets overwhelming in my opinion. Just my opinion. Learn the art of craftsmanship and build a house. We're going to ignore the tax liability for now. We're going to do everything in order here. Crafting is an essential skill for life and adventure. Your goal is to build a house on this land, but you will need to learn the basics first. I'm not a specialist, but I will share with you what I know of craftsmanship. Let's start by making a workbench. The workbench is a fundamental piece of equipment for crafting, and with it, you can also craft makeshift floors and walls for your first house. You can create a workbench on the spot using the quick craft ability you already know. Gather logs and then use it. And remember, the workbench needs to be placed on the ground to be used. Don't put it in a tree. Don't keep it in your inventory. Let's see, cedar. Eventually I'm going to cut down every tree there is, but I want as much of the same type of lumber as possible for now. Alright, you got a log. Logs, or should I say, Mr. Log, are the most basic crafting materials. They're also excellent for things like campfire fuel. But that's not all. By processing Mr. Log, you can upgrade it into planks. Oh my god. Huh? How do you process it? Well, why don't you ask Mr. Log yourself? The hint is processing equipment. Oh, and by the way, you can also process stones into cut stone. However, you do need workshops for those. Also, cutting down trees seems to create a petite about 25% of the time. We're just going to smash it and crush it. However, I want more oak logs. Maybe more than 25% of the time. I don't really know. They fall out a lot. Rosewood, I believe, has a beauty modifier, which is good for crafting furniture you want to sell, or if you just want higher quality furniture. I'm going to run out of stamina. This right here is your stamina. Do not let it get below 0. If it gets below 0, you start losing health. And when your health is low because you're just starting out, you will die in about 2 seconds from overworking yourself or anything else. Let's see. We can make a workbench, bonfire, bait, makeshift arrow, bandages. We're going straight for the workbench. When you craft something, it is put in your hand. Let me tell you something crucial for becoming the middle click. I already know about the middle click. I'm actually not going to read much from this fairy anymore because it's all stuff I don't care about. So, report back once we've made our workbench. I'm going to sneeze all over the microphone here in a second. Feel better. Not bad at all. Have you tried using the workbench yet? No, not really. Initially, there may be only a few items you can craft, but you'll be able to craft a variety of items as you obtain new recipes. Okay, we're all set to build the house, but before that, we should craft a light source to prepare for the night. Having a light source allows you to see a bit even in the dark night. You can make a torch from the workbench, so gather the materials from around here and give it a try. The strings you'll need to make the torch can be crafted from vines at the workbench. And once you've crafted the torch, don't forget to equip it in your light source slot, which is right here. There's a bunch of different light sources in the game. Higher quality light sources will light things up even further. I'm fine. I'm fine. Well, I don't have a comfy bed, do I? I don't have one. During meditation... I'm gonna try not to kill myself with stamina loss, but I might just do it anyways. I might just do it. Let's see. Makeshift bed. I need grass and leaves that I don't have, so we're just gonna meditate until I pass out. You can't sleep unless you're tired. Oh good, it's raining. Our first night here and we wake up soaked in the rain. Our fire's been put out. since we slept on the ground, we don't even get our stamina completely refilled. Let's see, torch. I need branches, string. So, branches come from smaller trees. You know what, just go crazy with it. I don't care if it's oak or not. Cedar's just fine. Torch. Need resin. Resin comes from cutting down trees. You'll have more resin than you know what to do with. I almost guarantee it. And now that we've equipped it, we can see. A little bit, not much. Good, you've taken your first step as a crafter. There's still much to learn, but I will give you a goal now. The goal is, build a house on your land by yourself. It may sound like a lot of work, but if you enclose some space with walls and equip it with doors, you can probably call it a house. I'll prepare some housewarming gifts meanwhile. Go ahead and start building your house. Yeah, that's going to take just a little bit. I want to see what other quests there are. Train for combat. Doesn't hurt to learn how to handle a weapon or two in these troubled times. Many of the creatures you will encounter in the field will attack you on sight. You can see the strength of the enemy by hovering your mouse over the target. It is wise to avoid fighting strong enemies until you are well equipped. Do not, if you are new to this, do not trust this. Okay? You need to learn each enemy individually, because just because it says an enemy is easy does not mean it's easy. First, a quick practical training. I have a passing punk tied up behind the bulletin board. A creature can't move when restrained, so just keep your distance and wait for your life to regain if you are in danger. Now, don't be shy. Go beat up those punks to your heart's content. One thing that I found out way too late in my main character is that these gallows here and other torture devices are actually great for training your skills, as well as the skills of your companions and your residents. Because as soon as you personally hang yourself on this thing, they will come over there and start beating the shit out of you. They will not kill you unless your stamina reaches 0, but they will sit there and wail on you and raise their skills. It'll also raise your skills, your defensive skills, your evasion, things like that. Now, we're just going to attack this guy. We chopped him to bits. That was easier than I thought. Well done. Stupid enemies like punks are not scary because they only launch simple attacks. However, there are enemies that attack from range, or enemies that have troublesome abilities if you attack them directly. The next training target is a wild boar. Again, I had one tied up behind the bulletin board. Like the punk, a wild boar is a simple opponent, but the fighting ability of wild animals cannot be underestimated. If you set up a close encounter, you will probably end up getting hit in the back. For such an opponent, long-range attacks are essential. I'll give you several tools, so try to defeat the boar with some ingenuity. Remember, items can be thrown. So we'll take that. And yes, you can throw items. Take our granite pebbles here. Right-click on them, get them in our hand. And we can just... No, my little girl's getting beat up by it. Right-click on it and you can throw. I sure did end up with a lot of pebbles up there. The first time whenever I was going through this, I left-clicked on one of these and hung myself and freaked out because I thought it was going to kill me. It is a bit unnerving. Hey, where'd you go, Ash? Brilliant. Now you no longer have a problem with opponents who simply push you with force. Opponents like wild boars are relatively easy to deal with, but they can surround you, cut off your retreat, or even leave you stranded depending on the situation. It is important not to be overconfident, and to have the means to leave the battle at any time. For your further training, I will set a goal for you. The goal is, defeat 100 enemies, no matter what they are. North Tyrus is full of dangerous monsters and rogues. You will have no difficulty finding 100, or 200, or 1,000 of them. The number of enemies you have defeated is tracked in the journal, so check it if you lose count. She's happy. Are you alright? Interested in a little tale tonight. This, by the way, is, questionable. It is not exactly prostitution, but characters that are drunk might get a little frisky. We're gonna do it. You are quite attractive. I'll buy you. Okay, so we prostitute ourselves out a little bit. I think it raises some skills. We lose a little bit of karma. I don't know what skills it raises. I think charisma and endurance and strength. But yeah, you lose karma. In Alona Plus, if you did this, you could get someone pregnant and they pop out babies and stuff. I don't think that is in Elin. I have seen prostitutes squirt out eggs, but it's very rare. Did you just do something bad? No, it was good. Yes, I felt your karma drop. In this world, your karma decreases if you do bad things. And if it falls below 0, you become a criminal. Becoming a criminal makes life very difficult. Complete quests, return lost items, and always strive to do good deeds to increase your karma. By the way, the most serious crime in this world is tax evasion. You better give the government their damn money. If you don't pay your taxes for 4 months, you'll be immediately wanted, and your life will be in danger. So be careful, okay? I have never missed a tax payment on my main character, and I ain't gonna start missing them now. Let's see. What else do we have? I hate to tell you this, but it's time to learn about taxes. It pains me to dampen your enthusiasm as you're eager to settle in your new home, but this is something you will eventually learn anyway, whether you want to or not. This land is certainly yours. You're free to do with it as you please. Build a brothel, build a bar, build a mass burial gravesite, it doesn't matter. However, as long as it exists within the territory of Mycelia, every asset on this land, down to the last head of livestock, even including the shit they squeeze out into the grass, will be recorded in the tax ledger. You will regularly receive tax bills, and be warned, those who fall behind on their taxes face a grim fate. But it's going to be a while yet, so don't worry. Just keep developing your home. We have to wait until we get a tax bill. There's someone I want you to meet. You come at a good time. I haven't mentioned this, but it's customary to have a frontier inspector in Mycelian colonies. Now, inspector may sound strict, but no need to worry. They're more like helpers who assist with your land's development. Well, if you prefer to live freely without any unnecessary meddling, I can arrange things in Mycelia for you. The choice is yours. What say you? We're going to bring the frontier inspector in because he's a good guy. We want this guy here in our base. I thought you might say that. In fact, I've called in an excellent inspector I know for your land. He's a bit difficult in personality, but his work is solid. Allow me to introduce my friend, and the finest frontier inspector in Mycelia, Lloydel. There's Lloydel. What is this? A promising land where coins will be flying everywhere. You said, so I came. Did I mishear? This is nothing but an unprepared, godforsaken, bloody wilderness. I demand a proper explanation, Ashland. I'm a busy man. What's the meaning of this? Why have you called me to this wilderness full of grass and rocks? Ah, Lloydel, perhaps your weary journey has clouded your eyes. A gold mine doesn't just lie on the ground. Indeed, this place is as dull as you say. But have you seen the face of this adventurer standing beside me? It's beautiful. He is the reason I've called you here. I'm like, Everyone's like, You're telling me this clueless-looking adventurer is the gold mine? Yes, that's right. If you insist so much, I suppose I can take on the job. I'm not particularly enthusiastic, but I owe you and Fia a great deal. But good grief, this is really just a wild land as far as the eye can see. Normally, one would prepare adequately before embarking on a new land, you know? Well, adventurer, you got that? Let me introduce myself again. I'm Lloydel, the first-class frontier inspector of Mycelia, also serving as a court advisor and financial officer. I like fine Olvina wine and efficient development plans, and I hate incompetent pioneers. With my experience and knowledge, This land is bound to succeed. Though much depends on your effort, of course. Well, do your best. Lloydel may be stern, but he's sincere. He'll certainly aid in your land's development. If you're unsure about anything regarding the management of your home or life in Tyrus, he's the one to consult. There's Lloydel. Come here, Lloydel. I have some questions for you. Tell me about Ash and Fia's job. You haven't heard anything from them? Well, perhaps it's better for you not to know then. What do you want to know? Well, that's what I wanted to know. How about you give me some advice on frontier business? Good thinking, I can do that. What do you need to know? Tell me about the Hearthstone. Your land features a mystical stone known as the Hearthstone, a spirit stone that, according to ancient covenants, promises the prosperity of your land. The growth of the Hearthstone is crucial for developing your base, as it increases the admin power needed to enforce policies, unlocks building modes, and prevents enemies from destroying items at your base. To grow the stone, you need to accumulate its experience points to the maximum. Experience points increase over time even if you do nothing, but they can also be increased by shipping items or through specific actions of residents. By regularly shipping unwanted items and hiring many residents, the experience points will just naturally accumulate. Once the experience points reach their maximum, the stone will automatically level up. One thing to note is that as the Hearthstone grows, the strength of the enemies that appear at your base will also increase. If you're struggling with the current enemies attacking your base, it might be wise to enact a growth suppression policy to slow down the stone's growth. So, one of the reasons I'm going through all this too is for those of you who aren't going to play this game, so that you kind of have an understanding of like what I'm going to be doing while I play. For those of you who've played this and already know all this stuff, it's just probably boring to you and wasting your time, but good for everyone to have kind of a base understanding of what's going on. Why don't you tell me about my home ranking? Among the furniture installed in your base, the top few most valuable items are designated as heirloom. Competing for the value of these heirlooms is known as the home ranking. If you rank within the top 125 in this ranking, you will receive a set amount of rewards every month, which can be a valuable source of income early on. You can check the current heirlooms, as well as your home ranking position and rewards from the home board. So how do I open a business? Whether you're creating a tourist spot or opening a shop, it's obvious that you can't do business without customers. To attract customers to your base, you need to implement the Open for Business policy. When the policy is active, customers will start coming to your base according to how well known your base is. Most customers will stay for a few days, so if you provide beds for them, you can also earn lodging fees. I have the Open for Business policy book in stock as well, so check my wares if you want it. Policies, about 95% of the time, can only be bought with gold bars. Gold bars are very valuable. You earn them through shipping things out. You can find them while digging. I think you occasionally get them as quest rewards, but they're kind of slow and hard to come by, and they're very useful. Why don't you tell me about running a tourist spot? Your base has a tourism value, which increases by installing displays like figures, cards, and paintings. When the tourism value is high, you can receive daily tourism income from visitors. While the income might not be significant at first with few displays, it's still a decent source of earnings in the early stages. How about a shop? Are you interested in running a shop? You can sell items to customers by attaching price tags to the items installed in your base. Unlike shipping products through a shipping box, this method takes more time, but does yield higher profits. You can easily make price tags at the signboard workshop, so give it a try if you're interested, comma. Oh, and while at the workshop, you should also make goods stock sign. When an item sells out, a sold tag is automatically placed in its spot. If there are other items of the same category around the sign, residents will automatically restock the items for you. So here's a useful tip. If you put a price tag on a container with items inside, you can sell everything in the container as a bundle. Once all the items inside are sold, the price tag will be removed. However, if you find it troublesome to put the price tag back on, you can leave one unsellable item inside. Okay. We can have him join us. if I didn't already have a companion, if my charisma was higher. All of the residents in your town that live with you and work for you, you can take with you as adventurers. So let's see. I want you to wait here. We can have him. We can have one person in your town becomes a maid, and they can do other things. We'll make a maid later on. We're not gonna do it yet. We want to hire a few people first, which you can see here through the recruitment tab. How many gold bars it takes to recruit the person tells you what their work is and what their hobby is. Unfortunately, there is not a good way to actually know what these do and will do for your base until you hire a few, or if you go to the wiki. Maybe I'm not sure. Like, farming will produce plants every day for you, I think, or randomly produce plants for you. I have no idea what blogging does. Fishing will give you fish randomly. It's not exactly one a day, but it can provide food for you whenever you come back to base. There can be supplies waiting for you. Let's see. I don't want to go look for the puppy yet, so we're gonna make our first shipping box. Time to make some money with Lloydel. Why so glum, chum? There's no need to shrink away. I may feel somewhat tricked by Ashland's persuasive words, but working leisurely surrounded by nature isn't too bad. When you're an inspector of my caliber, works from renowned nobilities in Mycelia come flooding in non-stop. Perhaps my weary soul needed this brief respite in a tranquil meadow. But rest assured, I'm almost grateful to Ashland right now. Almost. I'll handle my tasks diligently, and the future of this land is practically guaranteed with me in charge. Now, you must have your plans, but we need to earn some money above all else. Abundant funds are essential for the development of a new land. Hot baths, plush beds, and the scent of sweet wine are not what you need right now, even though it sounds nice. First, we enrich this land from its roots. The quickest way to earn money is to ship items from the shipping box. Once you can cultivate fields and harvest crops, it'll become a steady income. Huh? What's with that look? As if you've never heard of a shipping box before? What a revelation! There's no shipping box on this land yet. Is this some sort of primitive era? Here, I'll give you the materials to make one. Craft a shipping box from the workbench and set it on the ground. And remember, to use the palulu wood I gave you. The shipping box must have the cheek and elegant color of palulu wood. I won't tolerate anything else. It offends my aesthetic sense. In case you don't know, you can click on an ingredient icon in the crafting screen to change it. So, he gives us some... Wait, gotta pick it up. NPCs, when they give you items, will always drop them at your feet. Whenever you complete a quest from the quest board here, say you're in town or something, even if you're out in the wilderness and you complete a quest, it'll make a sound, it'll drop the shit at your feet, and if you're not paying attention, you're going to keep walking and leave it behind. So pay attention to that sound of a quest completed. Lord knows how many quest rewards I've left in dungeons or left in towns and just walked away from because I was in a hurry to do something else. So, we need a shipping chest. A box that ships the items placed inside. I cannot craft it, so we're going to sleep. If I only crafted it with 2 stamina, since it took 6, that would leave me with -4 stamina, which probably translates into 18 health, which is enough to kill me. Gonna eat that delicious vegetable soup. We'll get into food later. Food is very important in this game. It has a lot of stat benefits that are important for you to constantly be paying attention to if you're trying to level up skills and things like that. And there's also negative food that you do not want to eat. So let's see. We're gonna make this out of the palulu. We've got grass strings already. We've got sticks. You can see it takes a crafting skill of 4 to craft it. Our current level is 1. It doesn't matter if your skill is not what it should be. All it means is that it'll be a lower quality. Thankfully, it doesn't matter on a shipping chest, but if we were making a bed or something, and it like a real bed, you'd want to have the right skill, or it'll be like a -30, -20 quality bed, and people won't want to pay you good lodging fees for it. Let's craft this. And place it. Doesn't matter. We're going to be moving a bunch of stuff around. Let's talk to Lloydel. A nicely colored, calming shipping box. Finally, a ray of civilization shines upon this untamed land. Items in the shipping box are automatically collected every morning, and the earnings will be sent directly to you. Ship a good amount of items and you'll even get some gold bars out of it. I have a headache, so I'll rest for today, but try throwing some items into the shipping box. I ship a lot of stuff, because, like, whenever we start going to dungeons, I'm going to sell most of the potions we get, most of the scrolls we get, most of the wands we get. For now, I don't really want to ship any of this because it's actually useful to me. So, pick that up. 16. Oh yeah, that's what she paid me for the night of fun that we had. 16 orens. Look for a puppy. I need a handful of blue powder. I don't know how to make powder. I think that you use the millstone to grind up herbs. I don't really do a whole bunch of these quests where they need specific items. I'll do concert quests where they want you to go perform. I'll do combat quests. I might do escort quests, but if they ask for a specific item, I'm probably not going to do it. I feel like exploring. I don't want to look for the puppy yet, so we're going to do feel like exploring. Tyrus is such a big continent. Once you get used to living here, you may want to go out and explore the surrounding area. If you go southeast from here, you'll find a cave called Nymeli. Monsters there shouldn't be so dangerous, at least in the shallow layers, and there's something that concerns me there. Are you interested in exploring the cave? Before you go out, however, I'll give you these scrolls. The Scroll of Evacuation, which allows you to leave the Nephia and return to the surface, and the Scroll of Return will transfer you to the lowest level of Nephia you have visited, or to your home. Both of these tools are indispensable for adventure. Make the most of them. Yep, we will. We will. Oh. Let's see, I've been recording for about an hour now. I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Whenever we come back, we're going to probably go check out that cave. Yeah, we'll probably just go check out that cave and then come back and worry about some of these other things. Either way, I will see you all next time.